Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even have to. I literally just clicked the link.
Nice.
I didn't even have to log in any way.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So we are live. We have about 5 minutes to the start of the webinar. We will start right on time. Just like church, right? Just right on time, perfectly, every Sunday. So hold tight.
Are you muted right now? Okay. So I just noticed this, which is kind of a cool thing.
Real quick, can you get it log in as a guest to see what you see?
Yeah. Just with the link from yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the test link.
Okay.
The one.
Yeah, I'll look and see. I share with you. Wait, there's a redirect in here?
I know I want to hear about this, but I do need to see if they can see my main screen.
Okay. Please test. Church webinar invitation Friday.
Oh, that's the registration page, but
it's okay. I'll just register.
Do we need a new link to log on? Like, how do you log
on? Hold on. Do you have the link? Could you email that out?
Yeah. Should work here.
Great. Perfect. So Adams will email it out.
Okay, just mail it to the office because I think the only ones I have are the ones you emailed yesterday. So.
Okay. You have you can go through the process of registering and then getting the link because I sent that out on Sunday or something. But I'll have Adam send it out.
Okay, I still have that one too. The one that you sent us that we could send to other people.
Okay.
You're on it?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, I'll go on.
I need to move this.
I'm sure they have an option where there's a title card.
I would imagine so.
Just you can press a button. That'd be nice.
Okay, that's out. What I was going to say is there's a redirect, so if we had to change something and it creates a new link to it, you can redirect all attendees to the following URL.
Without them having to do anything?
Right.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, which is actually very important for them to have that.
How many attendees?
4 out of 6.
Okay.
Carl, Jack, Nicole, and me.
Are you able to turn off the group chats from there?
It shows that.
So we just don't want chatting. We want it muted. Yeah.
But I think Adam's listening one out too.
You want to go chat box? Just mute it?
Yeah.
So should we be hearing you guys right now?
No.
We're
I'm
starting.
hearing you.
You are?
Yeah, I'm hearing like your chatter in here. So you may want to.
It's supposed to be on mute.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Jason Hansen. Thank you for joining us. Actually, I know this is specifically for pastors or those involved in ministry. So if we have any children in here, hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. You probably know more about social media than we even do. But I want to thank you all for joining us. My name is Jason Hansen, and I have the privilege. I attend a local church here in San Francisco Bay Area, Community Bible Church in Vallejo. So I serve in church. You know, I guess you can call it. They even though I'm a volunteer, they treat me like I'm on staff without the pay. No, but it's, you know, my pay, my reward's in heaven, and I know that. But with the Light Digital, we also get to serve churches. So we get to work with churches in multiple ways. A lot of our staff members also serve and attend a local church. So the Light Digital, we are a full service marketing agency. How I like to look at it, we're the big agency, but without the big costs. We help small churches, medium-sized churches, big churches, small businesses, medium-sized businesses tell their story, reach more people. If it's a business, get more clients, customers. If it's a church, get more members, because we know we want people in church. So that's what we do. We help them figure out how to do that online. And one thing that we do is, regardless if you're a client of ours or not, we do these webinars and workshops. It's our education arm. We also have a podcast. So we want this to be as valuable as possible for you and your church. I know we only have 30 minutes, and as my pastor says when it's time to preach, he says, "I know you only have me up here slated for 30 minutes. Excuse me if I go 3 hours. So excuse me if I go 3 hours. I am just kidding. I will not do that." So nice to meet you all. I am now going to bless you by sharing my screen, so you won't have to stare at my face the whole time. That would be rather frightening. So excuse me for one moment as I switch, and I need to get the okay that hopefully you all can see the PowerPoint, social, mobile, local, and search marketing. We will go right through this. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? What should you expect? Well, I know I'm going to use some terms, marketing and things. I'll get into that in a moment, but we're going to look at how marketing is changing, specifically for your church. How is it changing? We used to be able to knock on doors, go down to local community events, pass out flyers, tracts, evangelize, have our members tell their coworkers. So we're not saying all those things don't work anymore, but there are new ways of reaching people. Ultimately, because there are new ways in this big thing called the internet, being online, your church is online, you as a pastor are online, whether you like it or not. How do you shine online? What that means is the internet, with all the information, there's 512 websites that are born every minute. So with all of this new information, how do you stand out in the darkness of the internet? And there's both a darkness because there's so much information, and there's a darkness because there's evil on the internet. We know that. So how do you reach people and evangelize the lost? How do you become that light on the internet as a church? So what does this mean for your church? We want to talk specifically what it means for your church. And of course, this is not like a timeshare event where we lock your doors somehow. I mean, it's a webinar, so you can stop it at any moment. So any moment this gets too salesy, just shut the webinar off. But we don't. We won't. But we do want to show you how we can help your church. And the goal of this, of course, this webinar is to help. So there's one way. So let me start off. We work with businesses. We work with churches. We help build businesses and we help build churches. But ultimately, especially for our church partners, we know that Jesus, the Lord himself, he owns the church. It is his church. He's the head of the body. He builds the church. And I just want to say that from the get-go, because I'm in marketing. This is the world I live in. So I may slip in. I may call your prospective visitors clients or customers on accident. I use marketing lingo. So I want to apologize up front and know that it's Jesus who builds the church. But on that same note, God has blessed people with creativity to create things like Facebook. He is sovereign over the way our world is going as far as technology, how we communicate. So he wants us to use it for his glory to reach people. He will build his church, and he can do it through Facebook. So how do we use Facebook as an example in line with how Christ builds his church? So just want to be clear about that. As a company, we firmly believe it's Jesus who builds his church. All right. So how is marketing changing? You can't talk marketing without looking at a funnel. I know one of the pastors I'm in communications with, he used to work in marketing, so the idea of a funnel makes perfect sense. You may have been in full-time ministry, and it's only marketing people who know funnels. So what a funnel basically is from the goal is to get your potential visitor all the way to the bottom where they're actually interacting with you. And then when they come out the other side, they're not only interacting with you as a church, they're inviting people. They're putting people in the top of the funnel. The awareness, just general awareness. Oh yeah, I've heard about you. I've heard about your church. I've heard about your pastor. So I'm not saying these ways are antiquated, but we used to just have print ads. So putting your church in the local newspaper when service times are, billboards, TV commercials. Now to gauge interest, there's more than just awareness. You're going directly. Let's cut to the chase. So that could be direct mail. You're targeting a certain neighborhood to invite to. Let's see, it's Christmas next week, and thank goodness we can say Christmas. Especially in this webinar, we can say Christmas all we want. No happy holidays here, but I do wish you a very Merry Christmas. So you want to invite specifically this group, this neighborhood to your Christmas event. So you may do a direct mail piece, and you're trying to gauge interest. Do these people want a place to send their family or go as a family for Christmas? Now, a desire. If someone has a desire to visit your church, they're going to look, how do I get there? Back in the day, it used to just be the phone book. Where's their address? How do I get there? They'd even pull out one of those things. I think that they're called maps. I've never used one. I've used Google Maps, but they pull out a map and map their route there. And then action. Did they come? So it says, of course, here in-store purchase. Now, yes, they can probably buy a few things at your church, but mainly that means, and this what we're looking at is, did they come? Did they saw your ad? Oh yeah, there's the church. They got that flyer to this Christmas event. They're like, oh, that sounds nice. I think I have some interest. I think I have a desire now, because now I'm going to find the address and figure out how to get there on this Saturday evening. And then action. We showed up. Now, it was simple back then. Life was very simple. You only had a few mediums to choose from to reach people. But now we live in a very distracted society. I like this picture because it probably shows why my guys, my 49ers, aren't doing so well. They allowed them to check their phones during practice. I mean, even our professional sports players who are getting paid millions and millions of dollars are distracted when they should be working on their skills, like how to score touchdowns. That'd be nice. But I mean, even if you look at your own family, maybe you have a family, you have a tradition this Christmas season. One of mine is to watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. Now, I can guarantee you, probably not my boys because they're really young, but I'll look up once or twice during the movie, and there'll be a few times, even though I love that movie, I'll also be on my phone. The same with my wife. The same with you. If you were to be honest with yourself, there are so many distractions, even in your own household. So to say that, oh yes, a billboard or a TV commercial or this ad in this newspaper or this door flyer, this one way will work, that's not the truth anymore. This is our new marketing funnel. Look how many different things we face every day as far as marketing messages. So there's offline and online. So the question isn't, okay, which one thing should I use? Well, as you can see, if you just picked one, so I am just going to do, as a church, we're going to get a billboard right off the freeway. It's about a mile from our church. We're just going to do that. Well, yeah, you'll get some awareness, and you'll suffice the top of the funnel, but you'll miss people searching, just doing generic searches online for churches, or just doing a generic search Maybe they're looking up what family activities to do this Christmas, and you missed giving them awareness that you have a Christmas play because they didn't see your ad on Facebook as they were scrolling through Facebook. So the moral of this story is you cannot pick just one of these. You have to make sure as a ministry that you're reaching people in every portion of this funnel. Are you building awareness, just general awareness of your church? There's different ways you can do that. How are you helping with consideration? Do you have reviews? Have you encouraged your members to leave reviews on Yelp? We were just talking with a pastor in Oakland 2 days ago. He gets the majority of his visitors found him through Yelp. And thank goodness he has about 20 plus reviews from members, all 5 stars. He has 5 stars. I know my church, we've been around for 30 years. We have 2 reviews on Yelp. So we're working on that. We need to get people, yes, they love church, but we need to have them tell the internet they love church, because that helps with people's consideration. You cannot just rely on word of mouth. Now, the transaction of actually looking up your address, those things, you have to ask yourself, is that easily found online? I can't just rely on the yellow pages anymore. And then another important part as a church, I know you've probably had Sunday school lessons on evangelism, on how to evangelize, how to invite your friends, how to invite your coworkers. Well, if you only talk about the in-person, like that is still very important. People need to go out there and extend a hand, give some soup and some bread, and tell them about Jesus. Like we're not excluding that, but you're missing out on an opportunity to encourage your members to invite people to church through Facebook. How do you encourage them to increase this loyalty and advocacy for coming to church, coming to a Bible study, coming to a Christmas event? How do you give them other ways than just the in-person? Because I can tell you, I love our neighbors. I have great neighbors at home. We try to have conversations, but I talk to people online a lot more than I do my neighbors. You can just put that, well, that's my problem, but I can say, yes, that's a problem. I should talk to my neighbors more, but this is the way society is going, whether you like it or not. We're talking more online. So are you giving your members tools to help them become a better advocate of your church? And we'll get into those tools in a moment. So there are new tactics. I like to picture this in a war scenario. We're in spiritual warfare, so it works. We're trying to win souls for the kingdom of God. You have your airstrikes. So airstrikes, think of big marketing pushes. So you have your billboards, you can have your TV commercials. You're reaching people possibly that maybe they live too far to come to your Christmas event. There's good and bad in that. But now we have the ability to deploy troops, special forces to reach we just want to reach a particular group. And I'll give you a quick example. I'll get into it more when we get into the section on Facebook. Church of the Highlands, one of the churches we work with, every year they have a car show of antique cars. Not everyone, even though, in my mind, it's like, who wouldn't love going to a car show and looking at these hot rods? Not everyone enjoys that. So yes, they could have put up a billboard hoping that people that like those type of cars will see it and go. But I'll show you later how we use specific ways of reaching people who would just be interested in that. That's special forces. So the question used to be, you'd see a visitor and you would just ask, oh, how'd you find us? But we have to ask now, where do your current and future visitors find what they need? What are they really looking for when they come to your Christmas event? Maybe they're just looking to check off, oh, I went to church this Christmas. Are you giving them that option, letting them know that you are that option to check off the box, because you hope that they'll continue to come this Christmas season? Some people are looking for a church that focuses on family. So you need the moral of the story here is you can't just wait until the visitors come in to say, oh, how'd you hear about us? Let's do more of that. We need to take a step back and think, what are people really looking for in my community? What are they looking for? when they're maybe thinking of going to a church? How can I help answer their questions? So maybe they're looking for a Christ-centered church or a Bible preaching church that focuses on teaching. And that's something you focus on as a church. So are you putting out content that answers that question, that builds awareness, builds that trust so that they actually take action and come to your church? That's the question we need to ask. So a quick story specifically about being very tactical, because some of you are like, okay, this is great. I need to reach specific people in my neighborhood. How can I use Facebook? Now, quick example. So on Valentine's Day, that creepy guy staring behind the card is me. I needed to find a date. And as you can see, I post the offer on February 13th. So I think I had a day. I could have put up a big billboard, but that cost big bucks, and it would reach people I probably wouldn't want to date. All of you who are familiar with Crockett, California, there's only about 3,000 of us that live there. It's a little colony here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I just wanted to reach people in Crockett, California, because there was a restaurant I wanted to go to in Crockett, so I didn't want to have to drive far. So I went in the back end of Facebook and I decided to send out an ad. I wanted to be very tactical because I knew my target market. So I put on the back end, I only want to reach those in Crockett, California. Now, of course, I only want to reach females in Crockett, California, but I need to be more specific. I only want to reach females who are 27 to 28 in Crockett, California. I had a better idea of who I wanted to go on this date with. I only want to reach females who are 27 to 28 who live in Crockett, California, and who have been to Boston University and have worked in the legal field. I was very specific. At this point, Facebook has a little gauge that tells you how many people you're probably going to reach. It was in the red, meaning you're probably not going to reach anyone. Crockett only has 3,000 people, let alone your criteria. Please change your criteria. I said, no, trust me, Facebook, I got this. So I launched the ad and I waited. Within 2 hours, I got a call, and it was my wife. She asked how many other women saw this ad. Now, I was able to tell her, only you. She claimed the offer. She clicked on a link, claimed the offer. Only one person can claim it. And we went on a date on Valentine's Day. That ad only reached her, and it reached her in her newsfeed. She was scrolling through Facebook, looking at her friends and family and whatever you do on Facebook. And there's an ad from Jason Hansen saying, Tiffany, be my Valentine. That is specific. That is tactical. That is a way, not that you're looking for a Valentine as a church, but you can be very, very tactical. You don't need to reach everyone. It's very hard to shine bright enough on the internet with how many pieces of content go out each day, but you can be very tactical. You can shine online. It's possible. So we're going to cover the first two, like light speed. And I just saw Star Wars, so excuse my Star Wars lingo, but we're going to cover it in light speed. How to shine online, you need a website. Most importantly, you need a mobile website. 50% of searches, according to Google, they're the biggest search engine, so they know how many people are searching, were done on mobile phones this month alone. So if you do not have a mobile site, you're getting dinged by Google, the biggest search engine. So not even just, we can say there's problems on the back end of your website that you need to fix, but look, step one is, do I have a website? Step two, is it mobile friendly? Because we need to start thinking mobile first. People are on their phones all the time. So if you need help with a mobile website, if you need help figuring out if your website passes, please reach out to us. That's free. We can do a quick test. We'll show you where to go to test it. There's very affordable options for a mobile website. We can help you. If you don't have it and you don't want us to help you, have someone in your church help you, because this has to be done. In order to shine online, step one, a website, mobile website. Step two, this thing called directories. It has to do with search, so I just named it directories. What are directories? Well, let's look at search. If you look at this page, someone type in church near Marin, California. There's a few options. Now the options on the right with the little yellow box saying ads, and sometimes there's ads on the top, those only get clicked on 25% of the time. 75% of the time, people click on this top portion, this little box, So you see Anthem Church, Hillside Church of Marin. People are clicking on those options. It's what we call the organic, what shows up organically. They're not paying to show up there. And not only are 75% of searches are people clicking on organic piece, those people, 90% stay on the first page. So if you type in right now, do a little homework, church near me, and if your church is not showing up on the first page, only about 10% of people will go to you. And it drops. The statistics, it just gets worse and worse after each page you're on. So you need to show up on the first page. And you need to try to show up on the first 5 listings. So how do you show up in search? There's this thing called directories where your church's name, address, and phone number. So remember I was talking about the yellow pages. Well, there's this thing called directories where there are over 300 of these yellow page-like mediums on the internet that list your church. If you have enough of these that are out of sync, meaning even if, of course, if your address is wrong, but even if you abbreviate drive in 75 of them and the rest you have drive spelt out, that's a missing link in the chain. So this may be confusing, but this is something definitely a foundational piece, is having those directories perfect, and Google+, which I'll get into in a moment. I know right when I said Google+, half of you are like, what in the world is Google+? Well, it's still important. So I know we buzzed through those two. Those are the foundational pieces. Please reach out to us, even if it's just a question about those two, the websites, directories. We can have probably 5 webinars, half an hour a piece, on just each one of those. But the most important part, the meat of it, with our time remaining, we want to talk about turning on the light bulb, the content. Every single day, search engines index your social channels, opposed to once every 2 months for your website. Now, what in the world does that mean? I'll simplify it because I like things simple. Google sends out these things called little spiders that crawl the web, and they come back to Google saying, this is what's important. That's what helps different websites, different businesses, different churches show up first. They go to your website. So yes, I said websites are important, but the little spiders, look at your website once a month, more likely every other month. But those spiders will go to your social channels. So think Facebook, your Google Plus page for your church, your LinkedIn page for your church, your Pinterest page for your church, your Twitter page for your church, every single day. They'll go there every day. They take that information and bring it back to Google, and that builds your search strength. It's important. Not only that, so it's important on the technical side for the spiders, but what about the people we're trying to reach? Because we want people in your church. We don't need Google spiders in your church. We need people in your church. But we know Google spiders help people get to your church. So the people, where are people spending their time? And in our marketing, are the big questions we have to ask us marketing guys and gals. Where are the people? So where are the people going? Where is their attention, and where are they actually engaging? Spending time, spending effort, talking, communicating. This is a look of Q1, so the first quarter of 2013 and first quarter of 2014. So without going into much detail, because I want to get into some of the channels, you can see TV is going down. Internet PC, yeah, it's going up. But I just want you to look at the biggest section of time. People are spending the majority of their time on their smartphones, and specifically in around 5 apps in their smartphone. So search, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. The bottom ones switch out on and off, but there's the majority of people are spending time in their phones. So my question to you as a church, as a pastor, are you reaching them? Not just inviting them to church, but are you actually evangelizing them? Are you communicating, encouraging them as a church? How do we do that? This is just another stat as we get into Facebook. This month, It was actually, I think, 2 months ago. But Facebook had 1 billion active users on a single day. So these are real people. So how do we do this? How do we reach these people? Take a screenshot of this if you can. This is how to do Facebook, but really any social network well. Because the good thing is, you saw that people are spending on average 7 hours on their mobile phones. If you have a strong Facebook presence as a church, you're reaching them. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be in every app on their mobile phone. Spend your time and resources just on one, just on two. Start there. Start with Facebook. So we want to talk about, okay, how do you do it well? Well, first of all, you need to have a professionally designed page. A lot of times that is the first thing your people will see. They'll we're seeing tweets, we're seeing Facebook pages showing up first in search. It could be the first thing people see. So what do they see? Now, if I were to take all of this away, this second point would fix all of this, because I know New Year's is coming up, and we see this a lot with churches. A New Year's resolution, they get a team together and they say, hey, we need to take this thing called social media seriously as a church. We need to use it as a tool for our ministry. And without a thought behind it, because we know we're all busy, they just start posting. January 1, they start posting. But it fades out towards February. So what you need to do is take a step back, and you need to create a strategy. Who are we trying to reach? What offerings as a church do we want to market and communicate? And how are we going to accomplish this? What are our goals? How do we get there? And all of that will accomplish the listening and responding, because you need to treat Facebook like a phone. You need to treat Twitter like there's real people out there. Are you ready to engage with them? And you need to wow them. So with our time remaining, I'm gonna dive into a few of these, mainly Facebook. Some great stories in here. So this is Church of the Highlands. They're over in San Bruno. I wanna give you peace of mind. They have been around for over 30 years. They just got a Facebook page last year. So it's okay. It's okay. And they have, they pride themselves in really reaching the community. They wanted to do this. They just started last year. So there's hope. So Church of the Highlands, 2 stories for them. I can go technical, but you can see they have professionally designed page. You can see their URL to lead more people. But they really wanted to reach people with all of the events they have, which I'll get into in a moment. But also, they want to encourage people. They want to evangelize on Facebook. So we send out encouragement, Bible verses, thoughts, articles to read. We send out audio from the pastor, 3 minutes of audio on a specific topic. What is this actually doing? Well, one day we got a message from the man's name was Dan Katz, and he sent us a private message that said, essentially, I'm not that spiritual, my wife is. What service time would you recommend me coming to if I don't want to talk to too many people? So what we did is we reached out to him, and we said, probably the 7:30 time, but just know that if you want to talk to anyone, we're here for you. Now we didn't hear from him after that. We didn't know if he visited it, but you know that, as I said earlier, part of our job is to market their events. Well, we got another message from this gentleman the following Tuesday, and it said, will there only be Italian sausage at this dinner and a movie event? Now our team, we were confused because we didn't know about this dinner and a movie event. So we contacted our contact at Church of the Highlands. We asked her about this event, and she said, oh yeah, it was an announcement. It was a last minute event that we have for our church. We announced it on Sunday. He visited on Sunday. Something, God spoke to him. He wanted to get more involved. He came to the event. Unfortunately, we had to tell him, sorry, there's only going to be Italian sausage and the spaghetti, but hey, there's also salad and bread. But he came, and now he's a member at the church. That is the goal. How do you engage people? So you're not just treating this like a bulletin board where you're just putting out your service times all the time. You want to treat this as your evangelist. Treat Facebook as your greeter. Put thought-provoking content out there that is shareable. Because the power of this, as we said earlier, yes, I as your member can invite people at my work, But how about I send out a really intriguing piece of content on your Facebook page, and you automatically all of a sudden reach 200 people, my friends and family, with a thought-provoking word from Psalms, giving encouragement, because there's a lot of scary things happening in our world right now. Maybe you address the peace of God. It's the pastor talking in his iPhone saying, I want to tell you about peace in turmoil. I share that. You've automatically, with one person, reached my friends and family. So you want to put out content that, yes, you want to invite them to church, but is it ministering to people right then and there? That one piece of content. Is it ministering to people? Is it something that will be shared and spread? Now, you also need to put a few dollars behind Facebook to reach more people. Please contact us if you want to figure out how to advertise on Facebook. It's really complicated, but very powerful. One example, if you look to the right, you see this car show. That's what Church of the Highland does. We put very little dollars behind this ad. We had 5.6 thousand views. It was one of their best attended car shows. It's their third annual one yet. It works. So I know time is escaping us. There's Instagram that you should definitely look at as a ministry of inviting people, reaching. You can actually run ads as a church on Instagram, and there are essentially 0 churches doing this right now. Now is the time to do this, because as we as marketers say, marketers ruin everything. Pretty soon there will be a time when there's too many ads on Instagram, people will switch to something else. Now is the time. Twitter, please reach out, ask us how to use Twitter as a church. Mainly, it helps your search, and it's a great listening tool to see what people are talking about and to engage with them. Now, I know we're slightly over, but I do want to talk about Google+. So if you need to leave, please don't. You need to hear about Google+. You must claim your Google+ page. Now, you're not going to talk with people on Google+. You're not going to engage with real people. This is for the Google spiders. You are essentially telling Google, if you do not have a verified page, we may not be a real place. And if you're not posting on Google+, you're missing out on an opportunity of every week telling them a few times that week what you're known for, what you're about, building up that organic search strength. Between this and directories, we've dramatically helped businesses and churches show up in those searches that they want to show up for. So Google+, look into it, verify your page, and post there. It's like Google Gold. And as you can see, this is a snapshot. This share of voice of Church of the Highlands, how much share of voice do they have in Bible study in San Bruno, California? Well, that number is growing and growing because of things like directories and Google+. That means when people type in Bible study in San Bruno, they're getting the majority of the searches. Now there's LinkedIn. If you're a pastor, please reach out to me. I have some ideas for you on how you should be using LinkedIn. That would be very powerful. YouTube, you should definitely put your sermons on YouTube. It helps with search strength. I know we're going through a lot. We're almost 2 minutes over. I want to be mindful of your time. So if you have questions about any of these things, I felt like we sped through a lot. Please reach out to us. Please, we don't charge for our information. So I'd rather you not stuck on something than worried about, oh, I'm going to call them and they're going to try to sell me on something. Of course, we can help you with these things. We'd love to help you, but reach out if you have any questions, and we can help you. Oops, I'm going backwards. So remember, you are, as a church, you're as marketing as it sounds, you're that news outlet. This is customer service. Your customers will come to you on Facebook saying, do you have a Spanish ministry? When should I visit? I don't want to talk to people. Are you ready to talk to them? Are you putting out content that is not just bulletin boardy, but actually encouraging, thought-provoking, engaging, entertaining? What pieces of the marketing funnel are you missing as a church? Now, you don't need to do every one of these things. Pick a few from each section and say, are we helping with awareness? Are we helping people consider us? How are we helping them find us and actually drive to our location? And how are we helping our members become more loyal in the loop Monday through Friday, and in turn becoming better advocates of our church. So I don't know if we'll have time for questions, but we have someone looking at questions now. Now would be the time to ask them before, as I'm wrapping this up. I'll try to rapid fire some questions if there are any. You can reach us offline, and I'll show you my contact screen in a moment. But most importantly, this is about stewardship. You have a limited amount of time and resources. So like we were saying before, I was saying, you don't need to be everywhere because you don't have the time or the resources for that. But you need to go where the people are. The harvest is plentiful on Facebook. How are you reaching them? We can help you do that. This is what we're passionate about, is turning both the darkness of the web because of how many people are there, and the darkness because of how spiritually dark it is, and helping churches reach out into that darkness with the light, helping you shine online, both for people to see you, but also bringing the gospel to them. So thank you very much. This has been outstanding. I've enjoyed it. Again, my name is Jason Hansen, thelightdigital.com. You can find us there. Email me if you have any questions. You can text me at my cell phone. You can tweet at me. My Twitter's not up there, but it's at Jason the Hansen. But email me any questions. So it's jason@thelightdigital.com. I think we're going to end. We're already 4 minutes over. So please email any questions that you have. This has been fantastic. Try to switch to my face one last time. Stop that. Thank you all very much. Have a fantastic weekend and have a very Merry Christmas. Like I said, we can say that. We're able to say that. Bye.